Hello, my name is Zaid, and I want to talk to you about atoms. But this won't be about the science of atoms, rather a simple expansion to the question, what are atoms? Let us start with an analogy. What is music industry? What is music industry made of? Can I put a finger on a particular music industry? It is not a thing that I can put a finger on or throw around like a ball. Rather, a complicated network, a combination of the following ingredients: a production company, a music talent, and an audience. This, of course, is a much simplified way to put it, but the point is that music industry is only a term used to describe a certain process, the result of a network of different groups of people coming together and interacting with each other in a certain manner, by which music is composed, produced, and finally sold to a listening audience. In other words, if the same type of people were to meet to just sit and do nothing rather than make music, then we won't have a music industry as a result. But then, what is a music talent? What is a production company? And what is an audience? Do they exist as a thing, an object that you can throw around like a ball? A music talent does not exist as an object, meaning you cannot really throw it like a ball. A musical talent, whether it was a collaboration or a single act, and for the sake of the example, let's say it's a music band, exists as a network system connecting a number of musicians in order to compose songs. And as long as these musicians are doing that, they are a band, and a band exists, consisting of people that you can throw around like balls. Same goes for the production company, a number of people coming together under a company name. And for the audience, a number of people behaving in a certain manner in reaction to musical talent. So in abstract, music industry is a running process brought to existence by the coming together of smaller running processes, and as they join together, they produce new behaviors. In other words, the death of a certain system is the disassembly of the people that make it up. So it is not until you reach people that make up bands, companies, and audiences that you can say you found the building blocks of music industry. But what if people were also running processes, consisting of even smaller running processes? When then do we stop before we find the building blocks of the music industry? When do we start throwing balls? Let's see what happens when we apply this analogy on atoms, the building blocks of all matter bigger in size than an atom, including you, me, and balls. Say you were very small, and you had a tiny hand. Then we can describe atoms in the same manner we did before. There is no atom for you to hold in your hands. Atoms are not a thing, but rather a term that describes a process of a network system of smaller systems, subatomic particles called electrons, protons, and neutrons. Although lifeless and brainless, they still manage through their physical behavior to come together and make up what we refer to as the atom. So say you're throwing around an atom like a ball, what you'd really be throwing is a bunch of protons, electrons, and neutrons, and not an atom. But then these subatomic particles appear to consist of even smaller systems. Protons and neutrons are a continuous process of quarks interacting with each other. These in turn could be a combination of even smaller systems, which leads me to question the state of my existence. Since I know I'm made up of atoms, am I not then like a ball that you can throw around? We don't know for sure what quarks and electrons are made of, but we know they are one of many forms that evolved from nothing but energy. So let us take a fast look at the story of what happened after quarks and electrons evolved into existence. In a process of physical evolution, long before chemical and biological evolution started, quarks, as part of their behavioral characteristics, joined into protons and neutrons. Protons and neutrons gained new behavioral characteristics, and as a result, they joined to create a larger system, the nucleus, which then gained new behavioral characteristics and attracted electrons into orbit around it, and created the atom. Undergoing different processes, different number of protons and neutrons would join to form different types of atoms. A hydrogen atom has, for example, 1 proton, 1 neutron, and 1 electron. A carbon atom has 6 protons, 6 neutrons, and 6 electrons. An oxygen atom has 8 protons, 8 neutrons, and 8 electrons, etc., etc., etc. And as the size of atoms increased, its behavior differed. But they all shared one thing in common: they bonded together through a process of electron sharing without affecting the nucleus, a process we refer to as chemical evolution, meaning they developed new and different behaviors from the behaviors of the quarks and electrons that made them up. This process of chemical evolution gave rise to larger systems, molecules. Molecules in turn developed new behaviors and came together to produce water, air, and all other non-living matter. But much later, molecules developed extremely complex behaviors, as in the case of the DNA molecule, by which DNA constantly borrowed other molecules from its surroundings and turned them into a copy of itself, a behavior we refer to as self-replication. Later on, this complex system joined with other complex molecules like hollow sacks of fat, forming into a larger system we call the cell. Cells also borrowed molecules from the surroundings in a process we call feeding, and replicated in a process we refer to as reproduction, and interacted with other cells, giving form to biological evolution of all self-replicating matter, like fish, plants, animals, and insects. And the death of such a system would simply mean the disassembly of the molecules that make it up. So if I throw a person, for example, like a ball, I would in fact be throwing a network of around 3.7 trillion cells, not the person himself. That person is just what we see as a result to this big lively city of cells. Look at this shape, for example. We see it as a triangle. Some can say it's a network of 3 lines. But what we perceive as lines is really a big city of dots. So again, this person's cells themselves are but a result of the assembling of many molecules, interacting lifelessly with each other. And molecules are a group of atoms interacting with each other. And atoms are but a group of subatomic particles interacting with each other. And so it goes. Seems to me that the act itself of throwing a ball isn't that simple after all. And a ball is never really just a ball. Thank you.